Grace and peace, family. Welcome back to this 180 Truth. And let me ask you a question. Do you think that couples therapy is useless? Let's get into it right here. Let's talk about the truth about couples therapy here at 180 Truth. Grace and peace. Welcome back to 180 Truth. We are talking about the truth about couples therapy. I have been ministering to couples for a long time. Full time since 2005. I've served as a minister of the gospel. In some churches, I would be known as an associate pastor. Where I worship at the Christian Cultural Center, I am a minister, and I have been privileged to provide couples with counseling through the years. It is one of the services that I value the most, to help couples to grow, to go to the next level, to reconcile through trials and betrayals. And so I found this conversation here. The entire video will be in the description. The entire podcast conversation between Chris Williamson and Adam Lane Smith is worth watching. If you care about men, women, relationships, psychology, marriage, it is worth listening to. I'm going to react to this video and then I'm going to wrap it up at the end. Let's dive in.
Most couples therapy is useless, not because the therapy is wrong, but because most couples don't go to therapy together until one of them is absolutely not wanting to work on the relationship anymore.
That is the most painful reality. And this, he's going to dive into it, but this is the thing that hurts the soul of every I think every genuine therapist, and really every minister of the gospel, every pastor, elder that I know, is so often the couple walks in the door when one of them is ready to exit, and they're really coming to you for last rites. That hurts. It breaks our hearts, because so many things were kept a secret, so many things weren't shared, the pains weren't shared. Everyone puts on their best face, and for all kinds of reasons, shame, guilt, they're concerned about how their business is going to be shared in the community. But I want to encourage you, if your church community, your religious community is not viable, healthy enough, you don't trust it, for whatever reasons, number one, that's a problem. Number two, you need to make sure that you go find a healthy family therapist who is committed to the reconciliation of the relationship and the furtherance of the marriage.
It is really ugly. The only time couples therapy really works is when they are coming in because they both want to make it work, but they don't have the skills and they have no idea what to do. If they both want to make it work, it's an amazing experience.
That's the thing. That's why before marriage, again, why training is required. Training on what it means to be a husband, training on what it means to be a wife. Training is required, and you get that training really over a lifetime. You get that training by seeing models of healthy, vibrant marriages, healthy, vibrant relationships. You see the models, you learn from the models. If you don't see them, then you read about them in a book. You watch healthy programs on television or wherever, on YouTube or however it is, that will give you the tools, the skill sets, the principles. You do the hard work of understanding how to resolve conflict, all of that. And so a counselor comes in when things hit a snag. And so that's the difference between, again, sometimes, so often, it's not that the couple needs counseling. Often the couple needs training.
If one of them doesn't want to work and doesn't have the guts to say it, it's a horrible experience for both people.
Yeah.
Why is it so rare for couples to go to couples therapy before the stage that one of them is basically ready to call it quits and needs an arbiter between the two of them?
Because most people do not have the skills they need to speak to their partner proactively and productively about the problems. So they just pretend there aren't problems, or they throw anger and excuses at each other over and over and over again. One will try, the other withdraws, then they switch, and the other tries again, and the other one withdraws. And they only vent to the people around them. They don't actually go out and get proactive solutions from the people around them. And their family system's usually broken, so they've never seen a healthy relationship. They think this is as good as it gets. They only seek professional help when one of them panics because the other one has made a change. And
You need people who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to cheer the marriage on, who are going to be for the marriage, who are going to remind you of the vows you took and the sacrifices that need to continually be made. And we're not talking about abusive relationships. That's, again, let's not get it twisted. Stop going to these extremes. We're talking about human beings who need to learn how to surrender to the promises they made and find power, I believe, from God to keep those promises.
I'll also say this. Women change for relationships, typically.
Wow.
Men only will change for circumstances, which is reality. Women will usually be done with a relationship a year or more before they're actually ready to get divorced. Yeah. Men have no idea that this is coming. Men get blindsided, and they say, wait, I'm finally willing to give it a try. Wow. Let's try couples therapy. And she's been done for a year.
Yeah, that's so sad. This is why we got to remind ourselves, you don't repress your emotions. You don't repress them. You need to be able to process them. But the challenge, listen to that, especially my brothers, you got to listen to that. The distinction is so very important. The woman will say, hey, we got to go to counseling. We need help. And the man will think everything is fine. Everything's cool. And so it's right then and there when they come into the counseling session and she is done. It's the reason, again, why women oftentimes, this is something that's in the manosphere a lot, where women, they constantly throw this out, that women are the ones initiating divorce. But why? They took the initiative because the man didn't take the initiative to keep the relationship healthy, vibrant, and strong. And then finally, she could not take it anymore. That is the truth. That is the truth. It's not just that women are more neurotic, all this others. No, it's that men need, in taking the lead, you want to take the lead, my brothers. And so that means when she says there's something wrong, I was like, okay, let's examine this. Let's take a look at this. Okay, let's go to the counseling. That's why, brothers, you need healthy relationship with a community of elders, people who are wiser than you, so that both of you can stay on the same page.
So this is a very common problem right there.
Do you think that explains part of the reason that most divorces are initiated by women?
Yep.
Absolutely. At 100%. Because most women have spent 5, 10, 20 years changing for the relationship, hoping that her husband will secretly somehow change for the relationship too. Men only change when they observe a problem, and then when they believe that there is a solvable problem there that they can actually work on. It takes both of those things for a man to actually work on something. Most men will only change enough to try to stop the discomfort that they're experiencing and try to go backward.
This is not bad things. It's not about blaming men. No, it's about understanding the differences between men and women, because men don't get married to fail. And so if you're committed to that, my brother, that you're committed to say, I'm not getting married to fail, then understand this about yourself and how it's different from the woman, so that you can both be on the same page, operating according to eternal principles, and being able to say, okay, she's saying this is a problem. Let's work this out together. Let me be attentive to it. And my sisters, you can't operate in repressing all these things and going to people that are just feeding into the toxicity and you taking the initiative to exit the relationship. This is why when you're choosing a spouse, you want to choose a spouse who is already submitted and surrendered to something greater than themselves. Don't marry a man or a woman that does not have layers of accountability in their life, because they will operate like they're the captain of their own ship. And then when the ship is sinking,
is get them to a point where they could say, what got you together in the first place? Where do you have any commonalities? Yeah. And where is there even a sliver of hope that both of you could work together on this? If there's even a tiny shred of hope, we can make this work. Really briefly, one time, I had a couple come in to my coaching practice. They both had very, very bad attachment. Very bad attachment. Neither one of them knew it. Yeah. One of them was having an affair. The other one wanted the relationship to work. The one who was having an affair wasn't sure if they wanted it to work or not. I educated them on attachment. First session, educated fully on attachment. Second session, got them working on bonding together and doing what couples are supposed to do. Third session, taught them communication skills and conflict resolution. By the fourth session, when they walked in,
Wow.
Both of them were happier in their relationship than they had ever been, even as newlyweds, even as whether they were dating. The person who was cheating said, absolutely not, I'm going to do this marriage. It's amazing. They had healed their attachment together, and they were now growing closer to their friends and their family at the same time.
And again, this is where the church, the body of Christ, myself, we are blessed to have therapists like this on our team, so that when a couple can't get reconciled through our ministry of providing them reflection, prayer, giving them principles to live by, things to apply to their life, so they can go to some place, somewhere that they can be presented with what is attachment theory, process that, and then go through these kinds of steps. What he is talking about is solutions. We oftentimes want to explore the problem, but really this is about solutions. If we have to continue to explore the problem, that means the problem is very, very deep and will require a lot of deep soul work. But what he's describing here is a formula for success for our relationships.
Only took 3 sessions of doing the deep work because both of them were committed to it. If a couple wants to make it work, even extreme circumstances can work, but you must both want to make it.
That's critical. There has to be agreement that they both want to make it work. That is where the power lies, the power of agreement. Are you both in agreement to make this relationship work? And you're willing to change. The commitment to change. Change isn't change until you're committed to change, doing whatever it takes.
So many people are living with a decision they made when they were 1 year old that said, I am scared, I am hurt, I am sad, I feel vulnerable. People will abandon me, or people will betray me. There is something wrong with me or with other people, and I am not ever going to be able to be open again because I will never be this hurt, this scared, this vulnerable ever again for the rest of my life. They don't even remember this decision. But that foundational belief has been set into their brain as an absolute fact of the universe. Gravity pulls things down, water is wet, and love is impossible, and I must live in fear for the rest of my life to stay safe. That foundational belief, once you hear it and say, oh, I have been believing that, but it's probably true, and someone comes in, an attachment expert comes in and says, it is not true. Here's an alternate model for living that is possible. I want you to think about it over the next week and tell me if it's ruining your life or if this is something that we could fix. And they'll think about it and it ruins it for them. And then they start seeing the matrix and they say, wow. Maybe there is 2 different ways to live, and maybe I've been living the wrong way. Maybe. I'm willing to learn. And then they learn it. Once you got it intellectually, cool. Once you experience it, that's where it begins to change. Because when you experience the difference, your brain chemistry balances out. It's because their brain chemistry is off from their wounded relationships that they've never been fulfilled. It is like a duck that is terrified of water, so it lives its whole life on land.
Attachment theory, the thing you learned when you were a child. Spiritually, that's called a bitter root judgment, and it is based on a lie. Again, there's so much more in this video, in the entire podcast. I want to encourage you to listen in, take a look. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about the truth about couples therapy, that the couple has to be in agreement for the therapy to work. They need to be in agreement that they are committed thoroughly to the vows that they've taken. And if you're a Christian marriage, then you're committed to seeing the lordship of Christ and to having his light, life, and love reigning in your heart, in your soul, and in your marriage. Let me know what you think. Thank you for being here at 180 Truth. Subscribe. Please hit the like button. And please share this video. Thank you so much as we continue to talk about truth to transform our lives. Hallelujah. And our relationships.